America's trade wars are back on today, with Australia facing a new 12.5% tariff. We're among dozens of countries set to cop the proposed tariff as Washington accuses nations of importing goods linked to forced labour.
It comes after Donald Trump's previous efforts at blanket tariffs ran into Supreme Court roadblocks. Let's bring in our North America correspondent, Cayman Gock, who's in Washington, DC this morning. Cayman, take us through this new tariff.
Morning, James. This proposed tariff will range from 10 to 12.5% and will be imposed on 60 of America's trading partners. That includes Australia, the EU, Canada, China, the United Kingdom, to name a few. And the administration says that these tariffs are being imposed because it did an investigation and found that these dozens of countries haven't done enough to crack down on forced labour. And they claim that that has led to an unfair playing field for the United States when it comes to trade. Australia would be hit by that higher 12.5% tariff, and that's actually an increase from the 10% tariff that's currently being imposed on Australia by the United States. Whilst this tariff would cover most imports, there are a couple of products that would be exempt, such as beef, coffee, pharmaceuticals, rare earths and energy, to name a few. Countries will have a few weeks to submit a response to this proposal, and then the administration would hold hearings in early July, and it's expected that these tariffs could roll out at some point from then.
Cayman, what's the reaction been to this so far? I suspect a lot of our viewers are going to be waking up, turning on the TV and thinking, well, Donald Trump's been looking for an excuse to do something like this, right?
Donald Trump has literally said tariffs is his favourite word. He said that multiple times, and this is an example of him pushing his tariff agenda. He is a true believer that it boosts domestic manufacturing and is good for the economy. There are many economists who would argue that it actually increases costs in America and increases prices for everyday Americans. But one of the main reasons he's doing this is because his grand plan, those Liberation Day tariffs, that plan fell through. In February, the Supreme Court ruled that the administration had overreached in using its powers, and they were in fact illegal. And that has since forced the Trump administration to start paying back, refunding those tariffs to importers. And at the time, Donald Trump was furious. He lashed out and attacked the Supreme Court justices. And then he said his administration will look at alternative options to find ways to implement tariffs. They started this investigation into forced labour as an alternative optional legal route to try and impose tariffs. Here is what the United States Trade Representative Jamison Greer had to say.
Tariffs as an economic tool have been used by the United States significantly for the past 8 years. And this is more of that. We're expanding it. We're trying to do it in a way that's nuanced, in a transparent way.
Now, we know the Australian government has already expressed its dismay with the United States over this. It's understood that Australia's Trade Minister Don Farrell spoke with Jamison Greer on the sidelines in Paris and reinforced Australia's position that they believe this is unjustified, particularly because it actually would be an increase of what Australia currently has regarding a tariff right now. And it breaches the free trade agreement that Australia supposedly has with the United States. But the United States has been breaching that every day pretty much since Donald Trump returned to office.